We're
We're
live.
live.
We're live.
We're live. So, okay, guys, this is not an update on Andrew Tate because I still don't know what the heck is happening.
Yeah. We just know he's gonna be
But
there for the next 30 days. But introduce the topic. Let's
yes,
discuss. Let's get in this.
okay. So this is a side question. I thought about asking you the last time we were live.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, so this is how I'm gonna introduce the whole thing. So a while back, I was having a conversation with a girl about Andrew Tate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she had really, really generic answers, right? Like she was talking about how Andrew Tate is a misogynist. He's teaching men how to be hateful and disrespecting women. A bunch of stuff that I'm 100% sure she probably heard from somebody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to make her see the bigger picture, right? I was not defending Andrew Tate. I was
Okay.
not trying to see, oh, well, look at it from his perspective or the man's perspective. I was trying to make her understand that Andrew Tate is not the cancer that she thinks he is. He's just a symptom.
Like
And
he is. So there's a sickness that exists, and
yes,
he's the byproduct of the sickness that exists.
yes, because I was
Okay.
trying to get her to understand, or at least try to think about, instead of trying to cancel Andrew Tate, instead of trying to change his message and just debate guys left and right, maybe you should think about why are men gravitating to those spaces, right? Like, why are men looking for Andrew Tate's advice? Why are they listening to Jordan Peterson? Why are they listening to Kevin Samuels, right? Why are they listening to Fresh and Fit? Why is it that those men are going to those guys, right? And she
Yeah.
said, and again, she had a really generic answer. She was like, "Oh, because he drives fast cars, or because he has money," you know. And I'm like, I don't think it's that, right? I think there's a, I mean, I think there's like the LeBron James of the world, there's a lot of guys that have a lot of money, but like, why is it that specifically they're going to those people for that message, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask you, why is it? Because I
Well,
think,
first, I think a good way to start this is to diagnose the issue in general. Like, what's the sickness? What's going on? What's going on in the world that you think that Andrew Tate is a symptom for what's for
what's going on.
men's issues and whatnot?
Okay, so I'm gonna make it a little bit broader because again, it's not specifically about Andrew Tate. I'm gonna include, the red pill community as a whole, including like the Fresh and Fit guys and Kevin Samuels, God rest his soul. So I think what's driving men to the red pill spaces is the injustice in the family court system, right? We see it a lot where men get divorced to women, they get full custody of the kids,
That's actually a
and
good point. I'm sorry to interrupt you. That's actually a
yeah,
really good point. I don't think a lot of people understand that that's probably one of the main reasons why these things grew to be as
yes,
big as they are. Right. I remember one of the first moments when God rest his soul, Kobe Bryant was getting divorced from his wife, or they was about to get divorced from his wife. I think she was gonna get like 150 M's or whatever. I remember Drake made a song lyric about it. Like, oh, she about to get 150 M's. Kobe might. I hope I had to be him. You wasn't with me shooting in the gym, like, So the
right.
idea was basically, or I would agree with you. It does seem as if a lot of this came from the fact that first the Amber Heard thing was going on. Johnny lost his whole livelihood.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
So I'm going a little bit broader, as you can
yeah,
see, because you're already getting the point.
yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
continue, continue.
Oh, sorry about that. Like Johnny Depp losing his entire career because of an allegation. That's one thing that a lot of people saw that was unfair. Especially especially when the Me Too movement really started to pop off.
Hmm.
You started to see a lot of men that were loved by other men just lose everything,
Yeah.
and men starting to realize, well, these guys can lose everything. Then who am I?
Hmm.
Who am I? And then you start to see these, let's say, because the red pill has always existed, but back in the day, I'm not sure you remember this, like 2010,
Like
2015.
pickup artists and
It
shit.
was pickup artists. Yeah, exactly. It
Yeah.
was pickup artists. Like, I forgot. I forget. I remember I used to watch some of that stuff too when I was younger. I'm like, man, because when I was like 15, 16, I'm all thinking about picking up girls. So
Yeah.
that's really where it was before. And those people had a following, but they weren't massive,
Yeah, like it is
right?
now.
I think a lot of the stuff started because one, it was like a amalgamation of issues coming at the same time. At the same time, the feminist movement was taking over, the Me Too movement was taking over. Geez, the push for transgender rights was taken over.
Hmm.
Men starting to realize that they were being targeted,
Hmm.
and that is true. Would you agree with that? Would you agree that men, like let's give a good example. White men in Hollywood have been targeted
Yeah,
just
yeah,
because they're white men.
yeah.
Okay.
Cisgender white men, right?
Yeah. So it's like, well, men started noticing this, and then I'm moving the fucking where the camera's at. Men started noticing this, and they realized, man, this it sucks. Like, why are we getting targeted just because of the way we were born,
Yeah.
right? So I'll let you pick it up from there, and let me hear a couple of your thoughts.
Well, when because of the way they were born or their traits, right? Like masculinity started being
Mm-hmm.
targeted, right? Like it was just if you're highly competitive, that is seen as toxic. If you are demanding, you can just throw some traits that they will be masculine, right?
Yeah.
Strength, right? Strength. You're trying to or chivalry to a certain degree, right? If you open the door for a girl, this is an extreme example. It's like, oh, you are oppressing me because you're saying that I cannot open the door myself. Like a little bit, I know this is a little bit extreme, but I'm just trying to get the point across, right? So that is the bigger picture what we just discussed, and I'm pretty sure we can think of other stuff. And then and then you have the red, the let's just say the fresh and fit guys, who bring women aboard, and they start talking about how they want a man with six figures, right? They want a man that is 6 foot, 6 feet, six figures. They want him to have the complete package,
Mm-hmm.
right? Men, women are allowed to demand stuff of a man, but if a man is asks, "Hey, you know how to cook?" That's like, "Oh, how dare you demand stuff of me?"
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that creates the whole for like guys like Fresh and Fit, then Kevin Samuels, and then you have Andrew Tate, which again, if we go to the comment section, and I'm just gonna show the comment section of this whole, I'm gonna show you right now because I sent it to you and I just wanted to show it to you. If we go to the comment section, this is an impact in Instagram. You can just check it out. It's basically a bunch of people. Oh, how can anyone defend Andrew Tate for what things
Yeah,
he did
yeah, yeah.
when
I'm seeing that. Yeah.
he committed rape. He did this and that and the third. Now it's not proven that he committed rape. We don't know that yet. It's up for the
Mm-hmm.
air. But because men have been accused before and falsely accused, there are going to be a certain group of men who are going to say, well, innocent until proven guilty, right? People, especially in the whole comment section, are unable to just put things into boxes, right? So, for example, Andrew Tate has an amazing relationship with his brother. And I'm
Yes.
pretty sure that any father would love for their sons to have that type of relationship, right? That is a
Agreed.
good thing. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
He also committed potentially, from the video we saw last time, he committed fraud,
Mm-hmm.
right? Those two things can be true at the same time.
Can be true at the same time.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's accusations that he raped someone. We do not know for sure. That evidence from what we saw is lacking, is not the best. That can be thrown into the question box,
Mm-hmm.
right? But the way people see it is just he's either all good or he's either all bad. And because you're putting them because it's black and white, you have this whole community of the red pill, which is the larger symptom,
Mm-hmm.
basically going to war. When I think certain females, no offense, or certain people, I'm gonna include like H3H3, where he felt that he's justified now because he accused Andrew Tate of being a human trafficker, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's still like it doesn't justify all the dumb things that he has said before, right? So it's just because people are unable to see the symptom and try to address why men are feeling this way, we're just going to have another Andrew Tate eventually. Because there were people that wanted Kevin Samuels canceled. And if you really think about it, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that would rather have Kevin Samuels back, right?
Mm-hmm.
After Andrew Tate is gone, yeah,
I,
go
I
ahead.
was actually I was actually looking at this interesting picture because it's funny. I was mentioning on the podcast before. and there was like this. I'm not sure if it was a meme page on Twitter or whatnot, but they basically put a picture of two, let's say, right-leaning philosophies, and on one picture they had, excuse me, they had Andrew Tate, and on the other side they had Jordan Peterson.
Hmm.
And I think it's kind of funny that I brought this up before, where it's like, well, if you don't accept someone like Jordan Peterson, you end up with the Andrew Tates in the world. And that is
Yeah.
not to be derogatory towards the Andrew Tates of the world.
Yeah.
It is to say, with Jordan, you had someone that stood up for their values and was promoting people to get better in life, but to take their own self responsibility,
Hmm.
right? And a very clear difference between Jordan and Andrew is that Jordan's message came from knowledge, number one, which I'm not saying didn't come from Andrew.
Hmm.
So I guess things they had in common, but I guess they both came from knowledge. But what they were espousing and what they were trying to, the message they were trying to get off. I
Hmm.
mean, this guy's first book, Jordan Peterson's first book, was 12 Rules for Life and an antidote to chaos. If your life's a mess, here's some 12 rules to make things work out together.
Hmm.
Right? It seems as if one of the main pushes for Andrew is money, wealth, and women,
Hmm.
where the major push for someone like Jordan is responsibility.
Hmm.
We can even go Kevin Samuels. One of the main things that made Kevin Samuels as big as he was that he was just telling women things that men thought the women should know, or like oh, it's your turn. You know, like
Right.
it feels as if with Andrew and also God rest his souls, Kevin Samuels, they were feeding into this incel army of people that couldn't get women in the first place.
Just to defend
Right.
Kevin real quick, right? I think Kevin also pushed a lot of family.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something that he heavily pushed on. If I think if you noticed it, I feel like Kevin was pushing a lot of family, and then Andrew took it way further and it became more individualistic.
I mean, sure.
Because
I'd also say they both also push responsibility. I mean, Andrew's main tenets is go to the gym. You
yeah,
know, like I'm not saying either one of them did not do those things. I'm saying their main driving force is not those things. The main driving force of Kevin Samuels and Andrew Tate, and it's not to make them both. It's not to lump them both in the same box, but it's to give two prominent examples of us what people would deem similar ideologies,
yeah,
but the separation on fame from that ideology.
yeah,
Like Jordan got famous for standing his ground. That was the main thrust that made him famous. He maintained his his fame through knowledge. It's just straight bars when you listen to that man. It's straight. Well, look at this. Think about this, or whatever. I've learned more about the Bible from him, and he's not a pastor than I've learned from any pastor ever in life. Right? I learned more about personality traits and why disagreeableness and agreeableness are feminine and masculine and whatnot. Right? These are things that are explained. Right? I feel like with a lot of the Red Pill guys, and I wouldn't put Jordan as a Red Pill guy. A lot of things with these Red Pill guys is that they paint in broad strokes.
yeah,
Right? And we listen to someone like Jordan, and he mentions the idea of, well, to be disagreeable. If you're a disagreeable female, you're like within the 50% of men, and it's like if you're an agreeable man, you're within the 50% of women. But it's like he's basically saying it's at the extremes where the deviations really exist. To be as to be as let's say violent or whatever, to be as violent as a man, you'd have to be one in like 100 women to be that violent in comparison to all men. It's like a big deviation. I'm probably explaining it all wrong, but I guess I'm sorry. I started rambling.
no, that's all right. But I hope that you can see that there's always a push to the extreme each version, right? Because Jordan Peterson now it's not really seen as extreme, right? But the end point that I'm trying to make is that if we do not start addressing the symptoms to why men feel this way, there's just going to be somebody worse. Because, like, let's just say that tomorrow Andrew Tate gets life and we'll never see him again, and him and his brother just disappear, became Romania, whatever. There's going to come another person who's going to take their spot, and their ideology might be even more extreme than the last.
Well, first, before we use the word extreme to explain a past ideology,
What do you mean? Like,
you would have to
explain.
first, because you would have to first say, because to you have to be saying that Andrews and Tristan's ideology was extreme in the first place. I think what you mean to say, and you can explain, you can change, you can challenge me if you think I'm wrong, is that you don't want the mechanism that made Andrew Tate as famous as he is, then going to someone that's willing to even show their quote unquote manliness even further.
Right.
Right.
Because the
Yes.
thing is, in the red pill, there's some wild boys. I mean,
Yeah.
there's some guys being like, you know, F a girl and leave her on the streets, laughter. You know what I mean? It's like Jesus Christ. It's a
Yeah.
little bit extra for no fucking reason,
Hmm.
right? But that is the end point. It's just like, do you think we're going to? When do you think we're going to start addressing that issue? That is the symptoms, which is because there are men activists who are fighting for men rights in the court systems, right? There's also the fact that men, the younger you are, I think, I forgot what was the age, but like if you're like a 17, 18, 19, 20-year old man, you're not really being looked at, right? You're being passed on a lot. And they feel like most women are looking up and just ignoring the bottom, right? That's another issue that men talk about a lot, right? Because a lot of these quote unquote incels probably are that, they're probably 18, 19, 20. Which, look, we can tell them, hey, look,
Well,
like,
okay. I see where you're going, but the issue that you're pointing towards doesn't have a fix, right? So
that's the
us
fucking
even
problem.
promoting the idea that there's a fix to the situation, to the damage or whatever, is the idea is there are going to be winners and there are going to be losers, and there's going to be losers that lose worse than other losers,
Right.
right? So let's do the basic math. Let's say to win you need to get a girl, right? Now, but now let's say the girl you with isn't attractive, isn't smart, doesn't really have much going on, and she's mostly gonna be a liability. But you get some action, right? That in comparison to a guy that doesn't have a girl at all and can't get a girl at all, you are then looked at as you or the man and the woman might then be looked at as the problem, right?
Hmm.
So we can keep pushing this idea of self responsibility and whatnot, but there are some guys, there are some people, there are charismaless. They do not want to do anything,
Hmm.
and they expect the most.
Right.
So if you if you don't do anything, you feel that way, and you harbor these emotions inside of you, like hatred and whatnot for the other sex or men that get all the women. It
Right.
doesn't matter what anyone does. It doesn't matter what anyone does. That the person does not feel respected because they're not getting something that they believe that they deserve. That person will become violent virtually no matter what, unless we mandate like marriages or something like that. But then that's
Yeah.
force, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. But I was gonna say some things do have fixes, like uh damn, shit, I forgot. Like the whole disparity in the court system, with family court system.
Yes,
There's a
that
fix.
okay. Yes,
Like, I agree
that's a
with you.
fix.
I agree with you. There are some things that there are no fixes to, because at the end of the day, the reality is that when you're when you're 17, 18, 19, 20, you don't really have a lot going on for you. Men earn their value later down the line. You become more
Yeah,
attractive. It's just that's how the game is. That's
yeah,
just it is what
agreed,
it is,
1,000%.
right? We can start there, but I'm pretty sure there's some things that we can tackle. They are being tackled that we can address. Because some girls can just think about, be like, oh, you know what? Yeah, like, it is unfair that I could have my child's father could be amazing, but I just get custody like that, and I don't even have to try. That is unfair. There may be women in the comment sections they can talk about. Maybe women in the comment section from that post, they can think to themselves instead of believing all women, maybe I should just wait until all the evidence is out, and that will help the conversation moving
Sure.
forward.
I think those things will definitely be pushing us in the right direction. Ultimately, I do believe that those things will definitely push us in the right direction. I just don't think it's a fix to people, as an example, right? So, like, let's say we fix the court systems or whatever, people will just look for another reason to get angry,
Hmm.
right? Like, I don't see us getting rid of I don't see us getting rid of the ways people would find to get angry. I mean, even the whole Roe v. Wade thing isn't really what people claim it is. It's more of a battle of equality. How come he can do this and she can do this? That's what the issue. That's what the issue really is about.
Yeah.
It's about, well, it's not fair that men can do this and I have to do this. That's, you know. So it's like, well, once you add the whole thing, the whole system starts to exist. Then you get, well, why can I get pregnant in the first place?
Hmm.
You know, like, that's unfair that I can get pregnant in the first place. The issue is there'll always be something to point towards. And then after we start putting kids inside incubation tanks and whatnot, and no one has care of the child anymore, then it's going to become, well, who has more at this point? Who has more equal right over the child? No one cares. She doesn't care of the child anymore. Like, there's always going to be an issue that you can perpetuate further. I guess me even mentioning that doesn't really solve the issue. I'd like to get back onto I'd like to get back onto why men need a male leader. But think about that. Why do men need a male leader?
I think just all men just need somebody to look up to, like just to have a path, have an image of what they're supposed to do, right? Like only a man can teach a boy how to be a man, right? Like a woman cannot teach it. It doesn't matter how much my mother loves me; she can never teach me how to be a man, right?
So what do
Uh,
you think? What do you think you learned how to be a man from?
it's just a guidance. Oh, I'm a savage. You know what I'm saying? I'm the first high value man. I just came up like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, if we're being honest, you had an impact. The men, I think my father obviously had an impact at an early age. Um, I basically just had to stumble a lot because after I was 11 when I came here, I didn't really. My father wasn't around. So I don't know. It was whatever male role model was around a lot of the times. It's kind of like who I look. I just kind of just looked at the way they were, and then
All right. Here's
all
another
the L's I
question.
took eventually.
After seeing the way you are now, right? Is there something that you would tell yourself in the past to help you onto your path a little better?
I would probably tell myself that information learned is better than information given. Stop trying to play so safe.
Yeah, take some more risks. I was gonna say the same thing. That I think that's what you should have done, is take more
Yeah,
risks.
take more risks.
You didn't take enough risks.
Yeah, you just don't. It's just you're gonna have to take L's. That's it. It is what it is, bro. You're gonna have to
I
take them.
mean, yeah, bro, and I think that ultimately is what's going on, dude. Is that some men just see other guys getting all these dubs,
Yeah,
and they just looking at, I'm a fucking walking L, and they hate it. But taking these L's is ultimately what men need.
yeah,
Men need to take these L's, bro. You ever
yeah.
seen Goku?
That nigga took. He took him.
He's been getting his ass whooped since day one.
I mean, let's be honest. Let's not. Let's. Goku got a lot of W's. Let's talk about Ash Ketchup. That poor man just got a
Dude,
W.
anyone you can point to, it doesn't matter. Taking an L points you further into becoming the man that you need to become than anything else, and then dubs.
I mean, we basically kind of summarized the whole red pill space because I mean, I mentioned it before. Like the red pill space is just a bunch of guys who have
But it's
a
a
lot of
bunch. Hold on, but the Red Pill guys is a bunch of guys that want to just project their dubs.
there's just a lot of guys with opinions. But I've seen it.
But
They don't have.
we're a bunch of guys with opinions.
But I'm pretty sure we have more experience with those guys. I mean, come on. After freaking this guy,
But the thing is, I don't even want to think about the experience that they have and the experience that we have. What's important? What's important is understanding that life isn't a bunch of W's. Life is more L's than it is W's, and the W's should come after the L's, right? If you get a W first and then an L after, the L feels way worse.
Yeah.
It feels way worse. Way worse.
Because I mean,
Let's say I give an example, right?
yeah.
Let's even use a red pill formulaic kind of viewpoint on this, right? Let's say you're talking to 10 dimes, or you're trying to talk to 10 dimes. 9 dimes said no. That's 9 L's. You're looking like LO Cool J and shit, right?
Mhm.
And then the last dime says yes. Boom. That's all you needed. That one W right there is going to elevate your positioning to a lot of men around you at that one time.
But it could also
Now,
be
if you get the dime piece on the first try, you did not learn anything.
because I mean
You
because
yeah, go ahead.
because I was just gonna add this. It's just like instead of looking at it from like 9 L's, meaning 9 losses, you could look at it from 9 lessons.
Yeah.
So
L's are lessons too.
so for example, like let's just say I go to the first girl and I don't know what the hell to say. I'm like, and she goes bye. Okay, then I'm
Yeah.
like, okay. I'm gonna go to the second one, hi. And then I'm like, and it's like hi. And then I'm like, oh, I don't know
But
what.
that's a W in and of itself. The
Yes.
you going from to high is a dub. Because I
Yes.
mean, you got the major L, like you didn't get anything, but that's a dub.
Yeah, because that's all it takes. But because I was gonna mention like in the red pill space, you have guys like Sneeko talking about relationships, but my man has never been in a relationship,
Yeah.
and he's the same age as me.
Yeah.
So to me, it's just like how are you over here telling this whole community of red pill guys about what to do in a relationship when you have never been in a relationship?
Well,
Because
okay, good.
because a lot of these red pill guys, like I think they operate a lot on they operate a lot on theory, right? Because this is the thing.
On theory. Okay, go ahead.
The way they
I agree. I agree, but I have another take. But go ahead.
because the way they describe a relationship is just like I'm gonna treat my girl like this, and we're gonna do this, and if this happens, I'm gonna do this.
Mhm.
But I think they're missing the key point that is that if you're in a relationship, you're gonna have to deal with that person's emotions, their feelings, their wants, right? So you could say, hey, if I have a girl and I want to go out, I'm gonna go out. And if she tells me no, don't go out, I'm gonna tell her fuck off. But
Yeah.
then when you're with that girl and she tells you no, I'd rather you stay, you're gonna think about her feelings and you're gonna think to yourself, you know what, I could go out, but how about just stay with my girl instead of just create problems later on? I'm gonna make her happy and I'm gonna do this for her.
Yeah.
Right. So you go on. That's what it's gonna mean. Go on.
I think the way these guys, you know, do what they do and bada boom, bada bing. And here's one of the big differences between them and pickup artists is that when you see a pickup artist, you see them get the dub, but you also see them get the L's. You see them talk to a couple girls, nah, whatever, but you see them get the dub, right? A lot of these red pill guys, you don't even see them get the dub. You know they have money, so you assuming they get the dub,
Yeah.
right? You assume, right? You may see some of these red pill guys talk to one or two girls or this and that or
Right. Let me
like
show you
whatever.
this. I'll show
But
you.
the thing is, bro, it's a lot of like if I start moving my hands like this, it's a lot of bravado. It's a lot
Uh
of
huh.
yo, bro, I did this, whatever, like that. I hit this girl. Come on, you know what I mean? That's
Uh
really all it is. That's really all it is. And the thing is, once you start asking them correct questions, like Destiny did when he pushed back on them. Though I believe Destiny is he's um enthralled with an ideology, and he I also see I see a weakness in him that I used to see in myself when I was younger is too confident in your own intelligence.
huh.
He understood how to argue against these guys,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like one of the fundamental arguments that they made is that, well, 1% of men get all the women.
Mm-hmm.
No, 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 no. What they mean to say is 1% of men have sex with all the women, right? But men and women usually date across their financial lines. Women sometimes date up, sure, but for the most part, if they make around $50,000 a year, they usually date a man that makes about $50,000 a year. if a girl like we worked in a fast food restaurant. What girl at the fast food restaurant was dating a guy that made $200,000? Not no one.
Yeah, yeah, you know,
Not no one. And
yeah,
all those girls in that job that we had were either talking to someone at the job or was dating someone right across the fucking street.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
No,
that and that's the freaking point is that they would make this image because they have money, so they know what girls like and shit like that. So man, these Miami girls want this. These Miami man, I walk around
but
my
you,
lap.
you just hit it on the nail because this is what irritates me about the comment section when you have men talking about like, oh, these girls are the same. It's just like they only bring over. It's like only fan models and like
Yeah,
party girls that just came over.
yeah.
They're not.
The pool of women that they're selecting from is already skewed.
So
It's
then
you already put the vote in your favor.
yes, because then you have all these guys in the freaking in the freaking comment section being like, "Oh, girls are like that."
Yeah,
You know. Then you have, and this is what pissed me off about Sneaker. Because Sneaker was like, "Oh, all girls are like that," but it's just like, listen, you're 24, you live in New York. I'm
mhm.
24, I live in New York. Why is it that your experience is so massively different from mine? I'm not saying that
Yeah,
I'm over here just slamming dimes. That's
yeah.
not what I'm saying. That's not
Mhm.
what I'm saying. But why is it that you cannot find a single girl that is relationship minded? And I have
Yeah,
found a lot of girls that I was like, oh shit, it's not like it is in Miami
yeah,
with these
yeah,
only fan
yeah.
girls.
It's
A
like
lot
this.
of yeah,
It's like here's a great example. Here's a great example. Let's say let's say I was anti climate change. I didn't believe in it or whatever like that, right? If I went to California and I got everyone from Silicon Valley, all the billionaires there on Silicon Valley Row, get 10 of them inside of a studio, what are the chances out of those 10 that 10 out of 10 of them are gonna disagree? It's almost gonna, it's like
yeah,
the pool that you're selecting from is contaminated already. You selected a select group of people that was meant to disagree with you in the first place.
right,
So the debate isn't even real. And then when one girl agrees with you, all you're gonna do is just big her up. Oh man, she's beautiful, like she's perfect, she's beautiful, she's this and that, she's whatever. But it doesn't change the fact that you skewed the pool into your favor in the first place.
right,
You can then go at that point. There's two men. Let's say there's 10. Let's say there's in a room of 12 people. There's two men and there's 10 women. One out of 10 women agrees with Fresh and Fit.
right.
But so 90% of women disagree with Fresh and Fit.
Yeah,
But you know that's not true because 100% of those women all have OnlyFans.
yeah.
It's like
Or even the
what?
girls that they go to, because like Sneaker was making a video and he was like, "Oh, you know, me and Myron went out with these two only fan girls," and it's like, "Yeah, yeah, I know that it's bad and yada yada." I'm stuff like, don't you trash them for like 2 hours on a podcast talking about how OnlyFans
And
is
that's
such a
the
bad thing,
thing.
but this is some of the girls you're going out with,
That's
right?
the thing. Yeah.
Like, and then you have these symptoms of guys who again just have all these opinions. This is what I meant. Information learned is better than information given. They go into freaking Fresh and Fit. They say all these freaking dumbasses, all these girls just saying all these stupid things about they want a man that is 6 feet tall, this, that, and the third. But they don't go out and they don't even use freaking Tinder. They don't freaking go up to a girl and just introduce themselves. Because listen, the majority of with girls are not with freaking 6 foot tall men. You know how many girls I've seen even at the mall that they just walking around?
I
The
mean,
guys like short.
the average height in America is 5'9". Average height.
It's wild.
You know. I thought it was weird when I found this weird statistic about boobs. Do you know that only 12%? I think it's only 12%. Is that a 9 to 12%? I'm drawing this up back from like I was like 14, 15 when I found this statistic, so it could be
Let me
different
look
now.
it up, man. You said boobs. Let me look
14.
it up.
I think it's 14. Oh, is that like 14, 12, or 9%? One of those three. That only that percentage of women have boobs that are above C. But if you were inside school and you saw all the boobs, you wouldn't even think of that statistic. You'd be like, man, this girl's with boobs in here. I don't even know why I brought this up.
I don't
Oh,
know.
height. We're talking about height. We're talking about
Yeah,
height.
Yeah, I
To
looked it
just
up. I don't know what the hell's a 34D. Apparently, that's the average size, 34DD.
34D is not the average size for boobs.
But your average boob size in the USA. Yeah,
Hmm.
they just said giant ass. Hell, it says the average bra size in the United States is 34. No, I'm show you. I'm not lying. I'm not bugging the fuck out.
Dude, I think people are just getting fat.
What the hell's a
Your breasts are
34DD?
unique. The average size in the United States is 34 DD. That figure can vary by county. What the hell?
What the hell's a
Where?
34DD? That's massive.
That's D's. That's double D's.
Well, good. Oh, good lord. Hey man, I'm happy with my small
Oh
titties,
wait, wait,
man.
wait. But are they accounting for? How about natural?
Okay.
Okay, they might be. They might also be accounting for fake breast.
Augmentation.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the average?
The breast size. You just keep hitting a boob.
I keep saying, I don't know. You said boob. It's your fault, not mine. What's the average natural breast size
Size.
in the USA? Breast. This
It's
is
still the
34.
same thing, huh?
I don't know. Maybe they're getting thicker. I don't know what's going on.
Man, COVID made everybody fat. Holy shit, what's going on?
But anyway, I understand your point. Keep going. I mean, I get the analogy. I think everyone gets the analogy.
Yeah, well now I feel like a dumbass.
You imagine this? You imagine all the girls in the podcast being like, "What the hell is you trying to say? This is average."
Now I feel dumb as hell. Let me see if I can find the statistic. What? Go ahead, talk for a little bit.
Okay, how about can we just switch to maybe like fit girls? Maybe fit girls. Like I guess listen. At the end of the day, what Sam is trying to say is, I forgot what the hell you're trying to say. Something about boob size.
I don't know.
You're basically trying to say comparing it to height. That if you go to a place where girls have big boobs, you are going to believe that everywhere girls have big boobs. Where in reality, that's not the case. That's just in your small condensed school, right? That's like if you okay. That's like if I go to a freaking bodybuilding gym and all I see is freaking wellness freaking competitors and they're stacked. I'm going to think that every other gym is going to be like that. And when I go to another gym and I've seen a couple of disappointments, I'm gonna be like, oh wait, hold up, that's a problem. But or I'm going to think that every guy wants a wellness girl. When in reality, maybe some guys don't want all that stuff. Maybe they want their thickums. You know what I mean? Maybe they want some extra bone. Maybe some extra. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do, man. You're killing me here. But
Let's see.
hey, man, I think you just gotta take that out. Hey, guys, look. At the end of the day, what I'm
Okay,
trying
so
to
I have
say.
a list. I have a list right here by country. Let me check
Okay.
on the USA. Okay, so like right here, for example, average breast size in Norway is C, Luxembourg C, Iceland C, United States C. Right here, I'm getting C. Worlddata.info is the website I'm on right now. Average breast size for United Kingdom is C. For United States it's C. Venezuela is B and C. For New Zealand is B. Greece A B. Mexico is A. Saudi Arabia is A. I mean half the world is A double A. Like literally, let's see, what is that? Like 50 countries right here? Like 50 countries, 50, 60, 70 countries with just straight A cups are the normal size. You have a whole bunch of young men running around.
So you have okay. I have United States is C, United Kingdom is C, Venezuela is B through C, Colombia BC, Sweden BC.
So maybe the statistics I was looking at it was for worldwide, not for just United States.
Yeah,
Could
I
be
guess
that.
here I got them all. We got a lot of A's apparently. Damn, Ecuador, we got a couple of A's.
Yeah, man,
Yeah,
that's your favorite place. Make sense?
yeah, man. God bless. I gotta bless Ecuador, man. I was trying to give my. We can do a separate video. I was giving my brother advice when I called you.
Yeah. I
He
know.
was
I
like,
remember.
man, I just want to date a Hispanic girl. I was like, avoid Dominicans. And he goes, why? And it was like, just avoid them. Like, look at Sam. He's Dominican. Look how happy he is. He's so happy he moved to another state. That's how happy he is.
Yeah,
But anyways, let's
true.
continue.
Avoid Dominican women. That's the only advice I'll give. Uh, yeah, I mean, dude, I feel like just men just. I mean, it's gonna sound so simple. Sharpen your mind, sharpen your body. This doesn't guarantee you cheeks in the long run. It does not guarantee you cheeks in the long run. The only thing that guarantee you cheeks in the long run is putting yourself out there.
Be
Taking
honest with yourself too.
yes.
Be honest with yourself. If you're living with your mom's place, you have no car and you have no money yet, that is okay. That's okay. That's okay. If you're freaking
Mhm.
18, don't expect to fucking have $1 million. It's
The
okay.
the most important step. What's the most important step, Jose?
On what?
What's the most important step a man can take?
Initiative. Just
No, just what's the most important step? Forward, backwards,
oh,
sideways.
wearing a condom and going forward. You gotta. A wise man once said that you have to have a bulletproof condom and go have at it.
the
No, but yes.
the most important step a man can take is the next one.
Yeah, there you go.
The most important. I'm gonna say it again because I need to make sure these bars are transferring to your youngins real easily. The most important step a man can take is the next one. It's not the first one. It's not the last one. It's not the first step. It's the next step. It's always the next step. If you avoid taking the next step, you become stagnant, and sometimes you might start walking backwards.
And then you're gonna be awkward.
You're gonna be awkward.
I'm gonna give you an example.
Sure. Go
Okay,
ahead.
here, let me give you an example. Because so there's this YouTube channel called Stand on TV. It's basically you've probably seen it. It's called Grilled. It's also too fresh grilled. Okay, it's grilled. There's this girl, and she basically invites men over, and they have like a date, like a test date, to see how they act and yada yada yada. So this is Andrew introducing himself. Right? I liked how smooth it is. I'm just gonna give it an example, and I'm gonna show Myron the way he did it. How the difference. Okay. Let me know if you can hear.
Falling in love and having children and having families are very, very beautiful things as long as it's done correctly, as long as the woman obeys like she's supposed
the
to.
whole thing, of course.
And I think the world can be a beautiful place as long as gender roles are not misconstrued and misunderstood. So if Sean doesn't understand that, I'll correct her quickly and we'll fix the world and we can move on.
See, he comes in. He comes in.
Very nice to meet you.
Nice introduction.
Hi.
You look really nice.
Thank you. Let's do two kisses. One.
Two.
Oh, very nice to meet you.
Very
So
nice
next,
to meet you.
Smooth.
Andrew Tate. What's your name?
Andrew, nice to meet you. Cheyenne. Or Cheyenne Reynolds, if you're doing this house.
Okay, see? You want to give her some pointers? You see, it was a nice walk, nice introduction. It was not awkward. I like the fact that he kind of guided her. That's one of the things that I have noticed. I don't know about you, but when I meet new people, sometimes they don't know how to, like, they don't know what enough to give you a handshake. They don't know enough to give you a kiss.
Whatever. He led the entire situation.
He let her. I have found that helps a lot, especially with, like, non-Hispanic people. Because with Hispanic people, you see them, it's just kind of like, with a woman, it's a nice hug, 2 kisses, boom. With men, it's a nice handshake. With non-Hispanic women, I'm like, hey, I'll maybe give you a handshake real quick. Right? It's kind of like it just runs smoother. Now let me show you Myron, how freaking awkward that thing was. Let's see, and then Myron.
Hey, what's up? How are you?
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Myron,
you.
pleasure to meet
Myron.
you. You gonna give me a hug or what?
Oh,
Be
okay. Hug. Nice to meet you.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Chilling.
You smell nice.
Thank you. I try.
He made me.
Look, to me, it was stiff.
It's
It was
cringe.
just stiff. A little bit stiff, a little bit cringe. Like, "Hey, give me a hug." Like, you know how it reminds me of, like, that high school guy. You know that high school guy who was always trying, like, "Hey, can I get a hug over here?" Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just awkward. It was
That was
just awkward.
cringe.
It was a little cringy. But
That's
yes,
cringe.
that was my topic. I just wanted to talk about kind of how Andrew Tate is not the cancer. He's just more of a symptom of maybe a larger problem.
Yeah.
Maybe next one we can discuss what, some, like, points or some of the things that I have learned when I was on my awkward phase, because we all been in, in an awkward freaking phase.
Yeah.
How I kind of got it together. I don't got my shit together, guys. I'm
But
still working it.
it's also timing of awkward phases. Some people, I mean, having your awkward phases as young as possible is the best thing you can do.
Yeah.
It honestly is, because by the time you hit high school, you're just so much you're just so above a lot of your
Yeah.
peers that
Uh-huh.
you can just finesse your way into a lot of different situations easily.
Exactly. So
Yep.
yeah, that is it for this episode of the podcast. Hopefully you guys liked it. Uh I might bother Sam with another topic in case he wants to. It's his favorite topic. Favorite topic. You're gonna love this topic because I think I changed my mind on some stuff. I saw this. Listen, I changed my mind on some stuff.
You have to text me the topic and then we will discuss. All right, guys. We appreciate you guys showing up. Like, subscribe, share the podcast. We appreciate it. We're at 180 subs. Let's try to get to 200. Let's try to hit 200 by the end of January. That's the goal right now. That's what we're shooting for. Expect upgrades to the podcast in the next couple weeks to a month. I'm trying to build out kind of a studio here. Expect new guests. I plan to start inviting guests over. So on the podcast days where I will not be with Jose, I'll be doing a one-on-one with people here at the place.
That's
And eventually Jose will be coming down here, and he could also be involved.
That's what happens when you meet a Mexican. See, they start like taking over your family. It's like the
Ah,
cartel.
shit.
The cartel moves in.
They're the cartel. All
Shit.
right, guys. Talk to you guys. Peace.
You know what?